Alright, my name is Sean, N3RTW, and I bought a bunch of these lightning arresters off of eBay. Got a fantastic deal. Unfortunately, a whole bunch of them were N-type connectors, as opposed to the UHF, we're used to the PL259s. But it was such a good deal that I figured I could even sell these or not even use them, and it still made financial sense to buy them. But as I sold one and got into looking at them, I found a whole bunch of things about them that are pretty interesting. And the first is, if you take it apart, you will find that all it is just a frame where your two connectors, this is it taken apart, are connected by like a pipe, a little rod, and they go in and connect through. And then this gas discharge tube here, connects to the body of the frame and then to that pipe, to that rod. And then if you get a lightning surge on your center conductor, the gas discharge tube shorts and just conducts everything together, and ideally, protects your equipment. And so this results in a few things. One is that these guys actually pop out. And if you get the right pieces, you can turn this N-type connector into a UHF style connector. And the second one is, you buy these things in high power and low power modes. And if you go to DX Engineering, the gas discharge tube replacement is about $15. But if you go to our friends at Digi-Key, you can buy a bag. You can buy them for like $2 a piece, $2 or $3 a piece. I bought 5, and I think they were $2.50 a piece or something like that. And the only difference between the low power and the high power, everything else is the same except for this little tube, and you can buy it in a 200-watt version and a 2-kilowatt version. And so the other thing is, if you buy a low power one of these Alpha Delta gas lightning arresters, you can upgrade it to a high power one just by upgrading the tube, this gas discharge tube. So what I'd like to do is convert, this one I've taken apart, I went and I bought connectors from Digi-Key. The only trick is that this cup has to be 3 millimeters outer diameter for it to fit the rod. If you use, this is just one I had in my parts box, it is too big to fit that, and I ended up having to go find something special. So in preparation for putting this back together with the UHF connectors, I put the metal rod on the end of the solder cup. It is actually supposed to be soldered, I think, because there was solder in it. But when I took apart these old connectors, they actually fell apart. Out of several I took apart, only one was properly soldered in and needed a bit of work to get out. So I'm going to start by soldering this I dry fit everything in the frame to make sure this fit, and I'm going to solder this on while it's outside the frame, because the second step is to put it all together and then solder the second connector on. So I got the little bit of solder in the end just to keep it connected. Next thing I'm going to do is put this back together. This is the frame. There's an O-ring here to make this watertight. One thing I should have mentioned was there's a hole in this tube, and we want it to be facing up, because the final step is we're going to fill that with solder to do the second connection, to connect both things together. All right, so this is it put back together. I'm now going to heat the tube from the inside and then warm it up, and then get solder into that hole where it should flow to both sides and make a good electrical connection. Well, it's not pretty, but it works, and I will test electrically. So the shields are connected. The center conductor is connected, and we haven't shorted it. So that is good. We can now drop the gas discharge tube in. It doesn't really matter which way it goes because it connects on either side, and we'll just gently place it there. Actually, you know what I should do is we'll put it in the lid and then place it like that. And then we'll just do very finger tight. It doesn't need to, it just needs to make contact. And again, we're not shorting out anything, but so there, we now have a high power alpha delta, you know, TT3G50, but with the SO-239s that I wanted instead of the end connectors. And I got another one I can do, and then that's awesome.